Hey everybody, it's Vera Wylde. This is gonna be one that I record from my car. I don't like having it be that way, but every time I think, I'm going out, I'm gonna get dressed, I'll shoot a video before I leave. Ends up also being a case where I change my outfit 3 different times and redo my makeup because I don't like it and whatever else. So I end up never having the time. You can see I'm going without the wig again today. I have added a flower in my hair. If you like that, I'll actually, a friend of mine sells them on Etsy. I'll put that on there. This video isn't about that though. It's been a while since I've done a Dear Vera. It's also been a while since I've done a cross-dressing tips for beginners. I am going to get back to that, but that for the topics I have left that I want to cover on that's going to require more than what I can do in the car. So I'm not going to be able to read the question exactly because to get the camera rigged up to actually the angle, I mean, it's propped up on my phone, so I cannot read the question exactly. But the question that was asked was about makeup in general and in terms of finding assistance for people who are kind of starting blind. And in specifically, I was asked, how did I get started out working on my own makeup and my own look? And in my case, and I think I've mentioned this before, but maybe it's time to sort of codify it and say it for the record here. I was helped early on by my best friend, and she was one of the first people who knew, and she really she helped me understand makeup basically from a woman's perspective. I had a little experience with makeup because I did theater in high school and in college, but theater makeup is a whole other thing from actually, just trying to look nice. So she gave me that initial foundation, and I picked up a few other things along the way, working at a bar where there were drag queens and picking up a little from them, even though I've never gone in for the full, drag look. So sort of picking up stuff along the way and putting together something that I feel works for me. Now, I don't do detailed makeup tutorials, and I probably never will because I don't consider myself to be especially knowledgeable about makeup, but obviously there are a ton of makeup tutorials out there. I do think it can be tricky, though, to use that as a resource because even though there's a million options, most of the makeup tutorials I find out there geared toward men who want to appear more feminine they're very intricate, and they get into a lot of the more drag queen makeup, the real heavy contouring and really sort of reshaping and framing the face, and it's amazing. I mean, some of the transformations, some of these, performers or transgender or whatever they happen to be, some of the transformations they do are amazing. But it's a lot of work, and there isn't, or at least I haven't found a ton of real base level recommendations out there, which is why some of my first videos were just very basic, broad makeup tips. If you can find someone to help you, someone who uses makeup regularly, whether it be a cisgender woman in your life who you're comfortable, coming out to, or if it is someone in a drag community or something like that, I would really strongly encourage you to seek that out because no amount of guidance that you can get from a video is going to be the same as someone, working directly on you with your face, because that's another thing. Sometimes things that one person does don't work on another person. And, when you're taking from a video, all you can go by is what they tell you to do. And maybe that's not the best thing for you. And you're only going to learn that through potentially a lot of trial and error. And given that makeup is not cheap, especially a lot of the makeup that gets used in the more, really transformative makeups that some folks do, that's a lot of money to sink and potentially waste if you have to learn by getting it wrong over and over and over again. So I think if you can find someone who has a base knowledge, who can give you the fundamentals of foundation, of eyeshadow, of lipstick, of blush, I think that is going to go a long way. Now, no matter what, whether you get that hands-on help or not, it's going to be a learning process. Honestly, I'm trying to get back more into learning more about what I can do different because I've kind of been doing the same thing more or less for quite a few years now. And I feel like I'm due to sort of up my game and get a better knowledge base, because I've been operating on the same one for a while. But, you know, I am, although I would like to do that, I'm okay because I know that I have this base level that I am comfortable with, and I'm comfortable applying and going out, you know, looking as I do. So at this point, my technique has not changed very much in a long time. My color palette has changed; it's become more varied, but that's different. It's much easier to alter your color palette than your technique in application. So I think that's about it. I mean, the short version is, if you can get hands-on help, whether it's someone who's like truly at the level you want to be doing, or it's just someone who just uses makeup more than you do it. Absolutely. I had help early on. I had hands-on help, and it really does make the difference if you can. If not, there are a lot of tutorials out there, but I do think that still just getting that really early base level, it's best if you can get that hands-on. So I guess that'll wrap up this Dear Vera. As I said, guys, I am trying to get back to cross-dressing tips for beginners. I do have some topics I want to tackle, but they are going to be more work in terms of what I need to film, everything that I need to be sure is coming across in it, editing, etc., etc. But I wanted to get this one out because it had been a little while since I did a Dear Vera, so I thought it was time to do that again. And, you know, I say that, and maybe it hasn't even been that long, because sometimes I'll film another number of them to get... No, I don't want to talk about that. So as I say, guys, I am going to try and get back to cross-dressing tips for beginners. I do have some plans, some very specific ones of topics I want to tackle, but like I said, they are going to be more involved. So I'm not going to promise about when those will be ready, but they are on the horizon. I do still have stuff going on, and of course, obviously, as this shows, you can still send me questions, and I do have other Dear Vera questions that I do hope to get to soon. So thank you so much for your questions. Anything you want to see me talk about, let me know. You can hit me up on Twitter at Vera Wylde. I'm on Instagram as Vera Wylde. You can email me, verawylde@gmail.com. I'm also on Patreon if you feel like helping to support this channel and helping ensure that it keeps going, and I'm able to do things that are a little higher end, things like the product reviews and whatnot. Take a look at me on Patreon. So I think that will about do it, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. I said guys again. I said I was going to stop saying that. It's a habit. I'm breaking it. I'm working on it. So until next time.